Hello, my name is Jamie Crane, and today I will be presenting on the recruitment and retention rates of Native American students at the post-secondary level. Post-secondary degrees are often considered a key to success in America. Although the enrollment rates of minorities vary from school to school, especially in certain locations, the enrollment rates of Native American students are disproportionately low across the board. And there is no quantifiable reason, and especially no justifiable reason, that the first inhabitants of the United States should be left out of the very system that's responsible for educating its citizens. When we look at research suggests that the recruitment and retention rates of Native American students are low at post-secondary institutions due to underrepresentation in research and due to limited access to programs that foster a sense of support and belonging. The first obstacle is achieving that adequate research representation, especially when it comes to the policies that shape the educational lives of Native American students from kindergarten through high school. A 2011 study conducted by the U.S. Department of Education found that although there are numerous agencies, both private and public, dedicated to education research, they often face difficulty in obtaining adequate sample sizes from the indigenous population for the data to accurately reflect this specific demographic. So there is lots of research, there is lots of funding, but hardly any of it contains data or valid data on our Native population. This can be attributed to the fact that some tribal communities may hesitate to have their people participate, and that might be due to adverse consequences that have arisen from past studies. This finding is neither new nor surprising to the government. A 2014 report from the Executive Office of the President states that the United States government demonstrates knowledge of the ongoing problems that Native Americans face. Yet they still continue to display a history of failed past and current attempts to implement any type of effective safeguards or improvements in either research or education policies. My first graphic from the Education Trust, this top one here, it's from 2013 and is part of a report called the State of Education for Native Students. As you can see, it indicates that only 52% of Native students who graduated in 2014 enrolled in college immediately after high school, and that's compared to 74% of white students. My second graphic on the bottom here, also from the 2013 Education Trust report, shows that of all the Native students who enrolled in a four-year institution in the fall of 2004, only 39% completed a bachelor's degree by 2010, and that's a comparison to 62% of white students who enrolled at the same time, and they had completed their bachelor's degree in that 6-year window. So this definitely demonstrates a lot of disconnects somewhere, either before, during, or after the college enrollment process. Which brings me to my next point. Those Native students who do qualify for, enroll in, and finally get to attend colleges or universities, they're often faced with limited access to programs or people that foster a sense of support and belonging for them. Although there is access to educational funding and there are multicultural programs and support systems at post-secondary institutions, very few Native students receive support specifically from Native mentors, staff, or peer groups. So they're really not interacting with a whole lot of people who look or believe or have been exposed to the same cultural aspects that they have. There's simply too few positions in the education realm, especially at institutes of higher learning, that employ Native educators and or support staff at an influential level. Geary's study in 2008 states that it's critical to understand from the student perspective what strengthens their resolve to complete a college education and what institutions of higher education can do to assist in this effort. Yet this is impossible if we're not actively engaging them in the research project. Where are we going to get the information that benefits them or eliminates those barriers? So at this point, we have come full circle and have heard how the first obstacle is achieving adequate representation in research that shapes those education policies, and the second is that Native students who do attend colleges or universities, they're then faced with limited access to programs or to people that foster that sense of support and belonging that's so very important for them. This topic is important, and it's important because the disparities in Native American culture have been perpetuated, and they've been perpetuated by a lack of education on or acknowledgement of the history of the colonialization of the United States. The traumas imposed upon and perpetuated against them, they've negatively impacted them for generations, and that cycle, like many others, can only be broken through education and action. In order to do this, Native American representation and research that shapes education policies and access to programs that foster that sense of support and belonging must be made a priority. And if they're not made a priority, we cannot expect our Native students or their communities to be able to thrive. But if through research and collaboration, opportunities to improve recruitment and retention rates can be created, the United States, the government, its states, its education system, and its communities must get on board. And they must get on board to preserve and promote the truly invaluable resource that is its Native people. Thanks for your time.